Hi there, I'm Lyndon Thorpe, and this is Embodiment Q&A. And we've been talking about being competitive and being collaborative. Last week we talked about the world view of that. And this week we're going to look more at the internal view, how it feels inside the body, how it feels to each individual. So, without more ado, before I invite my lovely guests onto the stage, let me play a voiceless video, and this will set the scene for you. Hopefully you can reflect, and then we're ready to start talking. And of course, we welcome your comments and questions. Please just add them. We can see them here. I'm just going to switch comments on now so we can actually see them. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's go to my screen and let's just spend 2 minutes watching this video to focus us on the discussion to come. Okay. Oh, trying to find screen share. Oh, here it is. Just a little technical problem here. Just 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so that just sets the scene. Actually, similar video last week. And the crucial questions are, how do you feel in competitive moments, and how do you feel in collaborative moments when you feel you belong? Or when you have a win, how does that feel, and where do you feel it? So it's really important that we embody these things. If they stay in the head, then they can get nasty and they can hurt people. But if we're truly embodied in the way we approach them, then we can be sure we're being sincere, we're being transparent. And just as an example, I had a win yesterday. I got some new clients, very interesting clients to work with. And yeah, the first thing that changed for me was a big smile. So I always feel it here in my jaw. So I just widened my jaw and just smiled madly, because they're great clients. And then a feeling of belonging. Yes, I belong to a group here in Japan. We do akiko, or kiko, which is a kind of martial art practice. And I couldn't go the other day because I was not so well and busy, but they told me they really missed me. And that made me feel so warm. And I could feel it really in my chest, that. So it's so nice to be missed when you can't attend something. So that's just to get you started. And without more ado, I'm going to bring my lovely guests onto the stage. Here they are. You know them well by now. Good morning or afternoon or whatever. How are you?
Good, thanks. It's morning for me.
Yes, it's morning for you, and it's afternoon for Muiba.
You're mute.
Muiba, we can't hear you. Oh.
So sorry.
Can you
Good
say
morning. Good morning. I said
good
it's
morning.
midday for me, between morning and afternoon. A very special moment.
That's really interesting, isn't it? That we are spanning the whole day. Great, super. Okay, so let's talk about the competitive and the collaborative, and how they work for each individual. And yes, as I did, I wonder if you can both give us an example of when you had a recent triumph or something wonderful happened, and how you felt and where you felt it, and when you felt a sense of belonging. This is I think the essence of collaboration, a feeling of belonging to a group. And nowhere more is that true than Japan. People here need to feel they belong. Very important. And so, yeah, give us your stories and see how your body reacts.
I could start with mine because you come right there. I'm writing a chapter in a book about belonging. It's called Simply Belonging. So it couldn't be a better space to talk about. And we are 6 or 5, depending on who is going to go all the way. And each one of us is writing a chapter about belonging. And we all meet once a week to talk about this collaborative work. And we have been together for a couple of years now. It is our second book, and we never, ever, ever went into a competitive mind. We always brainstorm so that each one of us can maybe inspire the others. It has never, ever, we have never, ever gone into a competitive minute, by the way. And we all come from completely different cultures. And so we have a Muslim, 2 Catholics, 2 Jews. So very interesting from a religious point of view. And we come from continents. A couple of us from Europe, a couple of us from 3 of us actually. I'm North African, 2 are South Africans, and another one is American. What a beautiful cultural mixture. And
Abhishek, you're okay, aren't you? Can you hear me okay? Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
You
The
disappeared
earrings
for a
are
while.
moving, so
Go
we
on,
know,
go on.
no, not for me. She's there. So, isn't it wonderful that we come from completely different cultural backgrounds, regional backgrounds, age, in terms of age, we have the whole span between the 30s and the 70s, completely different.
Wow.
And we are brought together. We have been brought together by the universe to work together for a couple of years, never ever felt in discord one another. No. And this is what we all love. We share the value of collaboration. And that is at the heart of our group. So I'm really fascinated by your question because I live in it, have been living in it for the few months, and I've just finalized my own chapter, and we are all doing so.
Brilliant. That's a lovely.
Yeah, Lyndon sometimes disappears for a while.
And that we can communicate. It always amazes me, especially from different cultures and so on, how we do find a way of communicating. And I think that comes from the spirit and a desire to really just appreciate and love each other, basically. I mean, that's it. We are basically good. And so that's lovely.
And never, if I finish off with this, never allow labels to label us, because this is the danger. If we had seen one another as, oh, religiously different, regionally different, we are, by the way, from different sexes, 2 men, 3 women, everything is different. And we all belong to this space. We all belong to the universe because we share values, the value of collaboration, the value of inspiring others, of sharing our experience, of giving what we can give and taking what we need to take. That is a formidable group that represents who we are in life, by the way. This is how we are in life. It's not just fake, just during this 1 hour a week. No, we are like this in life. And we enjoy being like this in life because we believe in it. We all believe in collaboration.
It's very natural. Really. But anyway, thank you, Eva. Ebby, tell us about your experience of either a win and how you felt, where you could feel it in your body, or sense of belonging.
Okay, I'm going to talk about both sides because I think it depends. I think by nature I'm collaborative. And I think from a young age, I used to do sports, which is sports is very highly competitive. And I never had, and the reason why I never really enjoyed it, and because of the competition, maybe because I'm competitive that I want to win. And who doesn't? Who doesn't want to win? If you're doing sports, if you're doing sports in a big arena, everybody who goes in wants to win. There's nobody that's sporty that's not competitive. And I never enjoyed that feeling because I had a big knot in my tummy. So and so as I've grown up and gone into the workplace, I realized that I don't enjoy the competition. Even though I like people, I don't like working in a big organization just because it's highly competitive when you're in a big organization, because everybody wants to be number one, everybody wants to get a promotion, and you're competing with maybe 10, 20 people for maybe one position. So you naturally become competitive. And that environment was not suitable or conducive for me because I felt like the knots in my tummy all the time and the restriction in my throat. And so I didn't enjoy it. Where some people thrive there because they like the world of the competition, they like that. So I think I feel safer in a more collaborative. And while I was there, I would like to be collaborative, but in a big corporation, it's not conducive because they're looking at the bottom line. So they need people who are go, go, go. And they need people who are competitive, actually. It works for them. So I think, as the video said, in some situations it does, but it doesn't really feel safe. So you see, like, people get the burnouts, they get the anxiety, they get the depression because on a long-term basis, it's not sustainable. Talking about collaboration, I like it because I'm joining a lot of women's groups, and although women can be competitive in a way, but I get the flight. So I flight away from those groups. I join the ones that are more in the collaborative fashion. So I just depend. It depends. For me, I think naturally collaboration is my go-to because I feel safe. I feel calm. I like it. I like the calmness of it, and maybe financially, it's not as lucrative as the competitive world. Like in sales and marketing. Yeah, sales and marketing is very competitive. HR is very competitive, and I was in HR. And even though I loved HR, the side of HR where human resources, where you talk to people and you get to know people and you help people, I liked that side. But as I was progressing, it was becoming more of the bottom line. So it's like, go. So for me, flight. And maybe it's a cop out, but my nature is more of the collaborative. I like the kumbaya.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so in terms of that, so I like that the wins, like you said, when you don't turn up, people miss you. It's kind of like camaraderie. Where were you? Even with the three of us, it's kind of like last week, and I was like, where are you? So I like that. I like that pace.
Yeah.
And maybe if I look at tribes, within my birth country, not my home country. If I look at tribes within my home country, different tribes. So my ex-husband's tribe, they're very competitive. It's kind of like, let's go, let's grab this, who's going to be first, who's going to be that. So there's that. Whereas in my tribe, it's like, let's just relax and just stay by the river and catch some fish and just talk and chat.
Wonderful.
But you find out that we were less progressive because I guess society does demand, unfortunately, the society we live in does demand the competitiveness.
Yeah.
If I may
I'm not
comment,
comfortable. I feel knotted in my tummy. I don't have peace with it, put it that way. So I in my chest, so my heart's beating faster, my breath is more shallow. Yeah.
Muiba.
what I hear from Abby is very, very interesting. It confirms my deep belief that we are naturally collaborative and that we become competitive, we risk becoming competitive when we are faced by competitive forces that want us to be competitive against our natural, our nature, our collaborative nature. As Abby was saying, I am naturally collaborative, but working in a space that expects competition to be the winning card. And we may say, no, I don't go there. And when I have a friend who is collaborative, I am really giving all my forces and all my strength. And I don't expect anything, but when I see my friend being so collaborative, that consolidates friendship. Now, if I am into collaboration, my friend into competition, I say, this is not a space for me. Simple. I'm not going to become competitive. I just go away. There are so many friends around, so many people who are ready to accept my collaborative mindset. And I just say, you can remain competitive. I go to sport because sport is a space where you see collaboration or competitiveness. And it's wrong to believe, people believe sport cannot be anything but competitive. Not true. Look at a match, a football match, and you can tell, the coach is allowing them to be competitive and to get the ball, keep the ball, run with the ball, end up throwing it anywhere and not putting it where it should go. Whereas a coach that encourages a collaborative effort, you can tell when you watch the match, it goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, back to the one, and then it goes where it should go.
In the same team, not in the opposite team.
Oh, no. I start with myself. Have you noticed? I start with the self that refuses competition. That is me.
Can I
Then
give
I
an
go.
example?
Wait, I just finished. And then I go to my team. And I want my team to be collaborative. And then I go to the other team. When you have a collaborative work, and you leave competition as a normal thing. You don't break the neck of the other team. Sometimes you watch again a football match and you watch these people playing fairly. It's a beautiful match because you see these playing, the others playing. They are competing, as was mentioned by Lyndon. Fair competition. Let the winner win. Let the stronger team win. And you as observers, as audience, love it because you are seeing a fair game. Let the winner win. And sometimes you have the other side applauding a brilliant goal from the other side. This is fair competition, which can only encourage you to do better next time, And they hug the other team. They hug one another. They don't break them every time they are doing something. Bam, broken, bam. They risk breaking a footballer's legs, the only asset these people have. What a shame. What a shame. Then they get a red card, which means don't do this. This is not competition. This is unfair, vicious competition. You're not competing. It's not game against game. It has become people against people. That is not fair. So competition acceptable.
Can I give an
with the
example
other.
now, please?
Yes, please.
Yes, Ebby.
Okay, I disagree with you saying that. I'm saying that you were innately collaborative. I didn't say that. What I said is that we're all unique, and what would the world be if we were all the same? So there are people who are naturally competitive, and my example for that is that my children are highly competitive. My son will even compete when his daughter was 5 against his 5-year-old. And it's a big thing, to win is a big thing, and that's across the board in their lives. And obviously they didn't get that from me because I'm not. So some people are, and some people are not, and there's nothing wrong with being competitive. And if you talk about teams, in a team you have to be cooperative to be successful. But you don't have to be cooperating with the opposing team. So if you take football, for example, they're not cooperating with the opposing team. They're cooperating amongst themselves as a team. Because if they're not, it's not going to work.
I think that's really important
on an
point.
individual basis, when you take salespeople, for instance, they're competing for bonuses. Because the company is saying that if you hit this target, you're going to get this amount of money. So that again, and some people naturally love that, so they go into that. I've met salespeople and I can't live without being like that. They get depressed if they're not in that competitive mode, so they are competitive. And naturally, as human beings, it can get vicious. Because if it's life or again the fear comes in. If it's like life or death, I'm going to lose my job because I'm not performing well, or I'm not going to be able to pay my money if I don't get that thing, or if I'm number 1 this year, I don't want to be number 2 next year. So there's the ego comes into play, and it's not because it's a choice. Again, it's not anybody forcing you to do. Nobody can force you, or no society can force you to be vicious. If you're vicious, it's your choice. You can blame the society and say, oh, the society is making me do that. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. You have chosen a lifestyle that puts you in that competitive mode. And I think you have to be naturally competitive to enjoy that environment. Otherwise, you're not going to last. You're going to have burnout. So we are all different. Some people are, and some people are not. And it's fine because you need a mix. You can't have everybody kumbaya-ing, because otherwise, the West will not, if there was no competition, the successful countries would not be where they are. You know, they'd be probably still living in slums and stuff. There's a competitive merge in some people that has got them. And okay, some bad things have happened, because there will be bad people or good people. It doesn't mean that all collaborative people are good people, because some collaborative people are not good people too either. They can collaborate because they're forced to. Like if you're in a team, you might be forced to collaborate, and if it doesn't work for you, you might leave after a while. So I don't agree. I think that innately we have both capabilities, but like everything else, it's on a spectrum. Some people are very highly competitive, and some people are not, and some people are like in the middle. And I guess a balance is the best place to be.
My comment is
Maybe, may I comment first?
Please,
because
with greatest pleasure. And
because I'm just,
I
think Embodiment touched on 2 points that I really feel strongly about. And one is the idea that in a team or a group, if we are truly collaborative, then we don't have to think competitively. Because, in any team games or anything like that, then, the strategies are all worked out. And I think putting those strategies into place means that even without overseeing the whole match or whatever it is you're involved in, you are playing to your optimal capacity and you'll win. So for me, competition, conscious competition, I think for me, there's nothing uglier than seeing a human being who has won something. And it particularly happens in sports. And it particularly happens over in the East here. So competitive here in the East. And you see table tennis tournaments. And then when somebody wins,
you won't be playing if you didn't want to win. The point of sports is that you want to win.
But one of the most unattractive portraits of a human being I can ever imagine is when somebody wins the table tennis tournament and they go, yes!
Of course, yes, I won. Of course.
It's so aggressive. It's extraordinary. And the Japanese are the worst of all because they are
I don't know. When
you
win, it's like, yay! It's a nice feeling of winning.
No. But this fist for me is the kind of opposite of that ecstatic feeling. It's like,
really?
I'm going to kill it.
It's a real, when you do, yes, it just feels it just goes through your body. And it's like,
in the East, it's more like much more kind of aggressive.
Going back, if you allow me, Lyndon, the most important point that the world constantly discusses is nature. And we have constantly the claim, which is the most dangerous claim in the world and within the individual, to claim that we are naturally competitive. My claim is we are not. Even if you see a little child of 4 or 5 being competitive, this is inherited competitiveness. I have seen friends of mine coming with their kids. And the minute they come to see me, they would say, come on, ask Tata about how to say this in English. Ask her about the grammatical rule. Read the poem and see if the feedback. I say, they have come to have dinner. They have not come to do a special lesson. But competitive people, competitive parents Teach their children straight away how to use
And
and
okay, where did
abuse.
that come from? From the parents?
Of course, of course.
I
Then they
think
put them in competitive schools where they are paying a fortune. Wait a minute, Abby. They are paying a fortune for them to excel. And if they don't excel, they better do, because
What about poor
they
people
are.
in this?
Wait,
What
wait,
about
wait,
poor
wait,
people in the village?
Abby.
What
Excuse
I'm
me. We are
saying.
in no competition. So, absolutely, these parents want them to compete and compete well because they're paying a fortune for their education, and they do compete, and they look at their grades. Hey, come on, relax. Let the child go through a very pleasant childhood where
yeah.
he goes to school, she goes to school, and plays with these little ones and play smart games in countries where competition is not necessarily appreciated, like Nordic states. You know, you go to Sweden and you go to Norway and you go to these countries, and the child is allowed to play. Have you know? We no longer give grades to little ones so that they do not acquire that vicious competitive mind. By nature, my claim is survival. And in survival, you better collaborate. We are naturally built to
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
You don't survive by yourself. Where on earth have we seen people survive by themselves? We survive thanks to all of us coming together and trying to survive, whether you are in a forest,
Yeah.
top of a mountain, going through snow, or going through the Sahara. You need everyone around to get together, to use their expertise, to find their way, to share the little water that is left, not to grab it and compete for it. We are, my claim, naturally collaborative. Who is not? It is the one who has been exposed from an early age to a competitive spirit. You said it yourself, Abby. My child couldn't have got this competitive spirit from me, but certainly from the father, who is very competitive. And
Because
I
in their
think
tribe, again, it's like you
that's
said,
it.
it is
It's
survival.
the environment. Is the
It is
environment.
survival. So if it's very hot, for instance, or very cold, for instance, and there's only one thing, you will, for survival reasons, you might want to get that thing for your own safety. So you might become competitive. So I just think it, first of all, depends on the situation. Both things are inherent and depending on what spectrum you're on. Linda, you said about
Absolutely.
this, right? I think that I do that a lot. The fist bump. It's called the fist bump. I do that a lot.
Sorry.
And
Sorry.
yes, and it creates when you do it. Yes, it creates a
So it's a
very
real inner
Yeah.
creates
feeling.
a feeling throughout your
And I
body.
do this a lot. When I win, I do this a
It
lot.
creates a feeling in your body of I don't know how to explain it, but it just creates a feeling in your. I know you see it that way. Again, it's perception. Again, it's environment, what how you've been brought up. So you see that as something aggressive. Whereas when I see that, I see joy because
Oh,
it's just
Yes.
natural. Because if you're highly competitive or you're taking part in a highly competitive event and you win, it's such an achievement. So it's not that you're saying, oh, the other people are down below or anything like that. It's just that, yes, I've done it. I've worked
Yes.
so hard. I've woken up at
Yeah.
5 o'clock,
I
4
think
o'clock in
I
the
think
morning.
you're right.
And I've
It's a
done this
cultural
today.
look
thing.
at my
Yeah.
look at my
Yes.
gesture. Look at my gesture. I go like, wow. It's
Yeah, but it
Well, me
doesn't
liberation.
matter how
too.
you do it. It
I
doesn't
No,
matter
do.
I
how you
know,
do
I
it. The
know, I
point is
know.
that
It's what I put in it.
I'm bringing out the point that Lyndon made, that
I know.
you're seeing that because when you work with highly competitive people, you find out that it brings a lot of joy. It's not that they're trying to put, okay, there's some people who try to put people down, and even in collaborative situations, even they might call it collaborative, but inside them, they probably human beings are just so complex, so we can't just put people in a box and say that box is good or that box is bad. As
No.
I mean, you Buddhists, there's no good or there's no bad. Those are labels that we've given people. Some people are competitive, and we do need competitive people in the
We do
world.
not. That's
Otherwise,
the point. We do
otherwise,
not
otherwise,
at
we will
all.
end up stuck in a place of complacency. And so
Beautiful.
competitiveness is good. And I just think we just need to be aware of what's going on in our bodies in terms of the competitiveness. And if it's giving you a big knot, are you as an individual being are you being not safe? Are you being unfair to somebody else? We can't keep blaming society or blaming other people for our competitiveness. And that's the thing that really, really bums me out, because we keep blaming. The only thing you can blame is yourself, internal, because you do have a choice not to be aggressively competitive. It is good to be competitive, but not to be aggressive about it.
Now, going
Good.
back to good or bad,
Oh,
please, Lyndon, please.
okay. Well, just one second, because I want to hold on to this for a moment, because I feel that we are, as we've said many times before, and this is from the embodiment side, we are human beings that are incongruent. In other words, our inner values are very often not visible in our outer performance. And you'll remember my story of the murderer or the serial murderer, and how, you know, what an angelic spirit he had, that I could. That degree of incongruence in our societies, in our developed societies, it really disturbs me that people are not in touch with their values. And I tell you that here in Japan, people don't even know what their values are. That's the society here. So yeah, when I see this kind of real anger, almost angry triumph,
It's not
you
anger,
know,
it's triumph.
I think, what is going on inside this person, you know?
If I may,
I know it's cultural, but I have actually seen incredible incongruence in students who, you know, shout at somebody else, as you say, Abby, blaming someone. And then when you talk to them, you realize they're not really angry inside. They're just making themselves heard. You know, they're making themselves visible, and so they can fit in or try to.
I go back to the real value of collaboration. Sometimes I'm watching a football match and I see somebody scoring, and this player would have had the ball practically given to him by another player. Collaborative spirit, you would see him immediately going and hugging that player who handed him the ball for him to score. And this does happen, and I'm so pleased to see this gratitude coming, this gratitude for the collaborative spirit and the collective spirit. Some of them, instead of just going straight away to hug the player who practically handed them the ball, would go to the spectators, to those watching, and go like, wow. I say, well, the first person to thank is that one who just practically gave you the ball. And that is how you see, I've done it myself. I have won the competition. I have scored. And if I were a coach, I would give the same rewards to the one who hands the ball, probably more so than the one who scored after having done little effort. And this is what I call the outside pressures. When your company, be it small or big, says, I reward any effort, regardless of outcome. You make an effort, you trigger an initiative, whether we end up getting something out of it or not, you would have made the effort, and you would be celebrated, and you would be nominated on the list of those who have worked so hard for the promotion of the company. Usually leaders listen to all members of the team, listen to them, and then decide, oh, that's a clever idea. The clever idea would have come from the team, not him, not her. And they go to the bosses and say, you know, I got this idea. That's unfair.
Oh, I agree.
It's your idea from collaboration. It's not your idea. So when we develop collaboration in our kids first, in our companies as leaders. So first as parents, second as leaders, third as countries. What sort of competition you saying? Some countries are not successful. If success is owning the atomic bomb, no thank you. If success is, as was the case after World War II, collaborate with weaker nations, collaborate with poorer nations, so that we can offer them something, and they will offer us something in return, a big thank you. That's what I mean. It's from you, absolutely you,
Yes,
and how you wish to
yes, yes,
collaborate.
yes.
Goes to your kids,
And I think,
goes to your students, goes to your
yeah,
team members, and it has this ripple effect. And collaboration makes you breathe better. Competition makes you go a little bit more vicious.
Yeah, you're talking about textbook, right?
I,
You're talking about textbook, which is great. I mean, that's the way it should go. But the point is that what is the reality?
I'm
The
talking about reality,
is
by the way.
that
I'm talking
the reality is
exclusively.
that the reality
No.
is that if we in ourselves do not recognize the shadow side, which might be the competitive side, I don't know. It's different for everybody. If we in ourselves haven't worked that pathway, how can we even work in a corporation, let alone country to country? Because if you've got people within that country, so you might have a good intention as a country to go and help another country, but if the people in that country are not congruent within themselves, so what's going to happen is, and we've seen that happens, is even happening today, where people are not congruent. So when they come, my ways, because the ego takes over, my way is the right way, and they want to take over or live their own life or feel that your own way is wrong because it's different. We're all just different. So it's not as simple as in the textbook. Yeah, it's fine. It's simple. This is what we should do. This is what we should do. But the reality is, as human beings, we are very different. We have different values, and it's even difficult in your own country to get that congruency, let alone get it somewhere else. And I know this is what the media preaches. And again, I don't really want to get into politics because it's very, very complex. I believe the individual, everything starts from within. We need to recognize that we have these things within us. We have the ability to be aggressively competitive when we are put in certain situations, in certain environments. And so if we don't recognize that, we will act it out. But when we recognize how we feel within our bodies, when those things are, like when I feel that competition is coming up, like you said, collaboration within teams. Yeah, I agree 100%, because the team will not be successful if they're not cooperating. They will lose the game, that's for sure. They will lose the game. But they're not collaborative with the other team. And I remember when I used to go to church, we used to have sports, and we used to have competition against each. So a ward that's in one part of the community and a ward that's in another part of the community will have will play together. And I didn't believe in that. I believe that when you come together, people that are on the ground, you choose your teams, because otherwise, if you're saying that team, if you're in teams of your communities, then you want to, as someone who is competitive, you want to win. There's nobody who goes to a sports game, Olympics, that doesn't want to win. So they want to win, so they get competitive. And you find that through time, there's the animosity because they want to win. And when you're playing things like
May
football,
I
which is
comment?
an aggressive game anyway, so you're kicking each other and you're hitting, and there might be fouls in there. So they get angry, or the referee was unfair. And all this is coming up because of competition. Whereas if you come together and you choose your teams on the spot, so you don't really know each other, then it can be more collaborative. But that's because I'm not a competitive person. So my idea wasn't accepted. my idea was debunked. They didn't like it because they want to stay on their team and play with people that they know and can be collaborative with. But the two teams were like that.
I will start with the one. Competition leaves you alone because you are competing against. Oh, wait, Abby, no interruption. Competition leaves you with a bad feeling, by the way, because I have competed and I have won against them all. Well, against them all is not going to to bring you a lot of friends. Collaboration brings in everyone around. That's the first feeling. I go back. I don't follow a textbook. My textbook is mine. I have picked up and put in my own textbook whatever corresponds to my inner self. I entirely agree with you. If you feel you are more comfortable with competition, please be competitive. You will win. If you feel more comfortable with collaboration, as it is with me, I'm always winning through collaboration all the time, because I'm giving, the other is giving back. I am in a collaborative spirit all the time. And if the other wins, I'm so happy, because part of what helps the other win is me. I gave you, as a team member, what is in me to help you win. So if you're winning, somehow you are winning with my collaboration, with my contribution. That's the spirit. And I go back to any competition. When two teams are playing, they have one, the observant. Those who
I
do
had
not
some.
necessarily, wait, do not necessarily, when you have two teams playing, you have the world watching, and the world is going to see whether it's fair play, not breaking each other's neck, because they may turn against a team that's quite fine. They say, no, they have won because they have been breaking the neck of all the other players. That's not fair. That's not good play. We want
Can
to
I
watch. It's in
ask
the
a question
name of
before we
the world,
finish?
in the name of a world audience, that we play fairly and let the
Yeah,
winner
you're right.
win.
Yeah, yeah.
Let the
Can I just
better team
ask
win,
an important
rather than the
question?
one with rough game. What is this? We're not enjoying the match any longer. Do it for the
Yeah,
sake
okay. Can I
of a
just ask a
world
question
audience.
before we
Yes,
finish?
please, with greatest pleasure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I mean, because we were talking about the body, and I guess this is a topic of opinion, so that which is fine. But I just wanted to also, because we're talking about the body, and there's some questions that really I really wanted to find out before we finish, because we don't have a lot of time now. We only have about 10 minutes.
We never have enough time.
So
No, we never. Go ahead.
So, Lyndon, you talk about the body, which is something that I'm really interested in and really want to understand. So what is the difference between healthy self? Oh no, not that one. There's so many questions, and I just don't know which one to pick. But how does internal dialogue show up in my body? So in your body, I mean, how does it really show up? I think that was one of the questions. For me, my internal dialogue shows up as, with collaboration. It's my go-to. So it's like peaceful. Whereas in terms of competition, I like to watch it. I know it depends. I don't like to watch things like football, because again, my competitive spirit comes in, and I think who's going to win and who's going to score. So I don't watch it at all, because I'm not. But for me, it just shows up in a knot, or my legs want to move or want to run, jump up or something. So how would you work with your mentees? I think in terms of identifying.
It's a great question, Abby. I think it's really interesting, and I, as both of you were speaking, I was thinking this. I think that for me, I'm always trying to find a natural way of being, or to help others find a natural way. We are people of the earth, and that we've perhaps gone quite far away from our natural origins into developed nations and all of this. And so really, yes, if we can find the natural way to react or to respond, and I'm finding that quite a lot of business people I'm talking to are really quite obsessed with the competitive. They're quite obsessed with
They have to,
coming out
otherwise they
on
won't
top.
survive. As
But
this, they won't survive. They'll go down.
their bodies are really suffering because they're constantly on alert. They're constantly, you can't switch off, as we know. We've talked about this before. And so, yes, they can't sleep at night because they're wondering if somebody else got the job that they didn't get, or if somebody else got the contract, and so on. So this overemphasis on winning.
You got a bit cut off, Lyndon.
I'm sorry. Did you lose me for a minute?
No.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, we have to try to find a place where they can be aware.
Abby, do you hear Lyndon?
Yes.
Oh, Reba, you don't
Not
hear me.
I don't hear anything.
Oh,
I
Sorry,
can hear
Lyndon.
you. I can hear you. So I can
Sorry,
hear you. Let me
Lyndon.
check YouTube. I think I can hear you. We can hear you. So if you continue.
No, not me. I
No,
didn't hear
just continue,
anything.
Lyndon. You're on. I'm listening to YouTube. You're on. Yeah, you're on YouTube. So if you continue.
So Muriba, can you hear you?
No.
Can you hear me now?
I didn't hear anything. No.
How very strange.
Now you are
I
back.
don't know what.
Now you are back, but I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, really?
You went off screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, well, anyway, what I was trying to say, I'll put it in a nutshell, is that I'm always trying to find the natural way for people to live. And very often, if they're in business or in a professional of some kind, then they are kind of constantly watching the markets, constantly watching where they are in respect of everybody else and so on. So they're not living naturally, and they're living usually from fear, from and so on, you know. So I'm always trying to bring them out of that and to experience the warmth and stillness of their unlimited mind, if we want to call it that, their inner self. And so where does competition fit in here? If we want to live in a balanced way, with body, spirit, and mind all balanced, then I think we have to find the right words. And I think the inner dialogue is, as you mentioned, Abby, is where it all comes from. So, you know, with many of us have this constant inner dialogue going on, you know, things like, well, if I do this, I'll beat her, and then I'll be better than him, and all this kind of inner. So I first work to break that with people, and then I try to help them to find words which more suitably work for them. And as you say, we're all different, but we are drawn into the slogan land of competition, aren't we? Think about the internet, you know, all these not colloquialism, not plagiarisms. What am I talking about? I'm talking about platitudes, all these platitudes which take precedence, you know, like it's a hot lead, you know, all of this language. We just follow like sheep, you know, and we go along that linguistic route, thinking that if we say something,
attitude.
What if you recognize, like you said, if you recognize what's going on within you, you take your deep breaths, because again, it's your responsibility. You can't keep blaming company. You can't keep blaming it. You take, like you said, if you're congruent with yourself, and you take this deep breath, even though you're in that environment, which has to be that way, otherwise they will survive. They will not survive. That's a fact. We can't do anything about that. They have to be that way. But you as an individual, if you take the deep breath, you listen to your body, you find out what's going on, you can get to a place of being able to do your job. Because I think a lot of times those managers react. So they're reacting to the situation. So you take them out of that situation to pause and to think, and to get that, and then they can go and be clear in their heads into what to do. If you're expecting the outside environment to change, and you expect for people to do things for you, that's never going to happen.
No, not quite.
May I suggest, you cannot ask the environment to do anything for you. I ask myself to do whatever is good for me and stick to it. This is why I spoke of my textbook. My textbook has taught me, because I collected my own textbook from my own experience and knowledge. I believe, I'm a great believer in collaboration as a natural mode of survival. No one survives without the help of others. No one wins, by the way, without the collaboration of others. You might, it's only those people who say, I've done it all myself. No, even a boxer cannot do it all by himself. He would need a whole team behind. And that is what I mean by collaboration. It's a natural phenomenon. And how do we know it's a natural phenomenon? Because when you collaborate and win, you feel so proud. You feel so much enthusiasm and so much victory. Victory is yours. You haven't gone on top of anyone else. You haven't broken someone's leg to win. You have not, gone into manipulation to win. You have won through collaboration. And when it's collaboration, everyone says, let the winner win. Let the stronger win. Let even the other team win. I celebrate the other team's victory because they never entered into vicious competition, breaking each other around. No, they have won because they have played a fair game. Let it be. So when the winner is not viciously, trampling the other to win, it's a great victory, celebrated by all, your own and the other sides. Yes, Lyndon, sorry.
Moiba, yes, Sheila, just a moment. I know you want to speak, but can I just make this point? Because I think what moves my clients through my body work and my healing work and so on is the fact that, as Moiba says, we are all under the universal laws. We're all abiding or try to abide by the universal law of interdependence. So, for example, in the Buddhist teachings, the sun is one of the greatest things we're grateful for, because without the warmth of the light, our lives almost
all
impossible.
The minerals it produces.
Yes, and all of that. So, yes, we are interdependent. We can't do anything really without someone down the line providing it for us or helping us with it and so on. So
our food
in the Buddhist
on
teachings, yes, that's right.
Our food
in the Buddhist teachings, yes, it does. In the Buddhist teachings, we are, when we're in a total state of balance, body, spirit, and mind, then we are actually one. We're all one. Now, I bring this up because, and I know it's maybe a difficult concept in some ways, but we're all human manifest. We're bodies,
yes.
energy manifested as humans, as human skin and so on. And so the idea of us being energy, which I adore, because I think that is so true. We are pure energy. And we are therefore indestructible because of that. Then, when you see everything in terms of energy, then we can see that, yes, you may want to win, you may want to lose, you may want to if you don't win, kind of thing. But those are human behaviors, those are external. And I think when you bring people inside, into their inner zone, they're so peaceful. And so
Yes.
as we all think, as we all agree, I think really, we are so happy to be part of the human race once we're out of this. So maybe we can say that it is the limited
ego.
mind that makes us so competitive outwardly. But when we come into a situation where we're still and we are grounded and so on, we are so peaceful because we know in a depth that we are energy and that this manifestation of the energy will end one day.
And your question, which is, am I safe now? What am I protecting? And I think that's the key, because if I feel safe, then it just comes naturally to cover. But if I feel, what am I protecting? So that inner dialogue there in the head, like you said, it's so important to be able to listen to the body. What's going on inside you? Because if you're protecting something, you're just going to go straight into competition. But if I feel safe, it's safe.
And
so the outshot of this is, if I may, Moiba, just a moment, that if we are mindful, if we are really anchored in our bodies, and we're not controlled by the wild horse of the mind, as it's known, if we're really in our bodies, really embodied, then we are at peace, and we know that we cannot exist without everything around us, and most of all without our breath. And so when I take people into the breath, they cry and they say to me, oh, why did I let my mind trick me into believing I have to do all this stuff, when really at root, in my origin, I am so peaceful and I am so much a part of the universe.
Now,
this
sorry, Lyndon, what I tell my coaches, what I tell my clients is, think of aligning all of you together from head to bottom. Be aligned. Your thoughts need to be aligned. Your values, your inner self. Your inner self is all of you. And I entirely agree that collaboration brings well-being. It goes together with the feeling of safety. And it's only competition that goes together with fear. Fear of losing, fear of not being the best, fear of not grabbing enough, fear of not having enough of this. It's all, and this fear doesn't even stay here.
Fear of being alive.
Fear
of not being sick.
It goes from head to bottom through your mind, then your body. You are fearful of anything and everything, and fear is throughout you. You are aligned through fear. You are aligned according to fear, and therefore to competition. When you believe in collaboration, it's peace of mind, it's well-being from head to body, to soul, to spirit. You are all one, collaborating by others to form that one you are talking about. We are one race. We are in one universe. We are on one earth. And just to finish, the more you collaborate, that is my personal experience, that is my textbook, that is my belief, my set of beliefs. The more you collaborate, the greater the joy, the greater the real and the fantastic. That's how I function.
Totally, yes.
Can I say my closing?
You can. Just one second. The work I do is really moving towards my ideal. Okay, I'm going to tell you my ideal. I've mentioned it before, but I had several criticisms of this the other day when I brought it up. My ideal is that everyone is self-reliant, utterly self-reliant. In other words, Your happiness doesn't depend on somebody else. Your happiness is your happiness. It's you alone. So you can be happy alone. Okay. So when you get people who are living in a totally self-reliant way, who really know themselves, who really are aligned, as you say, we've got everything aligned, and physically we're very balanced and so on and so forth. Then my dream, my ideal is for a community to consist only of leaders, no teams. So really, it's like your round table.
We're all
That's
leaders.
it. I was going to say, you
We're
just
all
come to my
leaders.
roundtable leadership, and
Yeah,
that's exactly
like,
what I tell.
so it's
What
so
I
funny
tell.
because the other day I mentioned this to a medical doctor, and I said it was my ideal, and I actually was saying it quite lightly to get a response, and she said, "Oh, Lyndon, never. It will never happen." So
It
I
has
said,
happened.
"Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I believe
it won't happen on a global scale. She's right, but it will happen within communities.
I created a
I
team,
think
which
in
I call
communities."
the round table. You know, I coined the term. I coined the term round table team after leading
Yeah.
a team. Being asked to lead the team, I said, no, I don't like leadership. They said, either you accept the job or you say goodbye. I said, okay, I accept it, but I will turn it. I coined the team, the term round table leadership, because I worked for 8 years as a leader as a round table leader. I would listen to every single team member and celebrate each one's idea as our idea. Never ever, never ever celebrating it as my idea. When I went and met the
No.
big bosses, I would say, my team produced this. Even if somebody just said yes, 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 that is collaboration. You are giving
Yes.
warmth and support
Yes.
to the other who has come up with the idea. And I would say, through so came up with the idea, it was then worked upon, and it grew until becoming this idea that I am offering to the big bosses as my team's work. And the pride I felt was enormous. And that is how I came up with the term, the round table leadership. I hope one day it will be, when you click, you will find it on ChatGPT as the new theme, the new
This is
round table leadership.
ideal.
So that,
It's
listen,
the
that
ideal for me.
conversation
And
you had.
I just 1 second. I really, really believe it's possible. And so my
Of course.
following idea is that we create a community that is a round table community. In other words, there are no leaders, there are no teams. We have 100% self-reliant people who come and collaborate. Wouldn't that be heaven?
That's our belonging.
Yeah, Lynn.
That's the group I mentioned at the beginning. I belong to a team called Belonging.
Yes.
That's belonging.
Yes, your group.
We meet as
That's
5
right.
people, and never ever have I felt one of us is a leader. Never ever, or acted as a leader. We are a
Brilliant.
community
So
of
I mean,
round table leaders. I would have
I'm
finished Eddie,
thinking
the
of this.
poetry. Sorry.
I'm thinking of this on a global scale.
Following
I'm
up from
thinking of
what
it
you
on a
said with the
global
doctor.
scale. Go ahead, Abby.
Yeah, following on from what
Go
you said
ahead.
with the doctor. Yeah, I think that's the thing, because we label things in our world, because everybody is a leader. Yeah, and I think some people don't see themselves as leaders. Only the
No.
appointed people are seen as leaders, and that is the thing, because everybody's the leader, and if everybody believes they're leaders, that would be great. And I think that, like you said, a lot of times we are in our limited minds, and it's about being in contact. That's why I like the work that you do, because it's about being in contact with the unlimited mind, because our unlimited mind is what dictates our behavior. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not in the unlimited mind. So they're exhibiting behaviors that they don't even know they're exhibiting, because that's what dictates your behavior. And they don't really realize. So they might think they're this super person, but other people are not seeing them as that, because they're living with their behaviors is not congruent with what they're actually saying. So I think it's very important, like you said, to be able to listen to the whole of you, especially the unlimited mind, and to come from here. And if we feel, and I still really stand by this, if we feel the only reason why most people get competitive is because they are scared. So why are they scared? Are they scared because of, are they just scared because of what's going on here? Because if they listen to what's going on here, then there's no reason to be there. So the question is, am I safe right now? What I'm saying, is that true? Isn't that true? You know, what am I actually protecting? And then when the answer is no, I'm not really protecting anything, I really feel safe, then it becomes easy for them. And I think through example, you can't enforce this on anybody else. You can't enforce it on anybody else. It's self-reliance.
No.
And you're responsible for yourself. You
It
can
goes
only
without
do your
saying.
best, and hopefully people will follow through your example, and will learn, and will see how happy you are and follow that.
You know, some people are
body
competitive and love
never
being
lies.
competitive.
The body never lies. Yeah, the body never, and the body always remembers. It never
And by
forgets.
the way, what I call my body is from hair to my feet. And
I'm talking about
my
the inner
body.
body. I'm not talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about
flesh.
the inner. I'm talking about my inner body that starts here and goes
And
all the way to my feet.
past lives, the energy.
No.
So
That's
where we
how I
started.
define. That's how I define my body. My body starts here, goes all the way to my feet.
But the
And
body,
my body. Wait, Abby. My definition of my body. My definition of my body is telling me what I need to be told. Go to well-being through collaboration. Don't ever expect to get your well-being through competition. It doesn't work. Competition comes from fear, from wanting no one to win but me. I want all of us to win through collaboration. You see, we are now offering different views, yes, but we are collaborating through our different views to offer the audience the best they can be offered, which is variety, diversity. And this is what the audience wants. They want to hear what it is that each one believes in, and it's for them later to decide what makes sense to them. We never, ever, ever force anyone to be less competitive, more collaborative. It is their inner self that would speak to them when they are aligned.
Yes. I think the main thing, that's right. I think the main concerning thing of all is that people are driven by fear. Nearly everyone is driven by fear. And to me, that is awful. That is so horrible situation to be in, because fear just comes from the competitive.
Abby, can you still hear Lyndon?
Lyndon is frozen. So fear comes from the head, and if we're in our bodies, Lyndon, you got frozen for a minute there.
Yeah, you got a bit frozen.
Sorry,
for a little time. We missed you.
Oh. Well, I just wanted to say that the fear that drives people really disturbs me. And so my mission is to really get people out of this into their bodies. The body doesn't feel fear because the body doesn't know this word, fear. The body doesn't know words. You know, the body works below all of the language. And so once people get inside, they feel utterly safe. If there's a good guide,
I breathe in.
And they're breathing, then they feel really so wonderful. And then they go back out into the visible intellectual world and go revert right back to the
Yes.
fear-driven life. So it's a long process to get people to change. But yes, that's my dream. A huge community of
It's a lovely
people who
dream.
are all leaders and all enlightened in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Anyway,
sometimes you have this community, even in a march, you have 2 million people marching saying no to this war. That is a community. That is a community that believes your force is not in attacking others, not in teaching anyone anything. Be yourself a model. You will be a model by collaborating with other countries. And we have seen so many times in several countries, millions of people marching and saying, not in my name. Don't do this. This is not collaboration. You are competing for no reason, by the way. It's the most powerful who compete. And that is the big laugh about it all. The little ones don't compete. They know they would lose anyway. The big ones don't know that they would lose by competing with those little ones. So collaborate. You would bring forth all the love for you, for having helped those little ones, not crushed those little ones. And it goes from the individual who has no right to crush a child or a student or a worker or an employee. Be that gentlewoman, gentleman who gives a chance to others, not crush them to show I'm the big boss. No, you are the big boss when you create bosses, when you allow people to
wonderful
emerge
words.
leaders.
Yes, yes, wonderful words from for all of us, I think. And this is a huge conversation, and we have a huge mission to live up to. And now it's nearly 6:30, so I'm going to have to.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
what time it is you? I'm going to have to let you
Yes.
go and start your weekend. So thank you so much, as always, electrifying, and we've plumbed the depths of all sorts of ideas and feelings, and it's wonderful. So thank you both so much.
Thank you so much for hosting this wonderful, wonderful time together. Thank you, Abby.
And I love it. Thank you,
And
Abby.
Thank you,
see you next
everyone.
time.
And next time, see you next time. Bye for now.
Yeah, and thank you,
Bye,
King.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and all LinkedIn members and YouTube members. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye for now.